Guys, welcome back. It's Mrs. Peterson, that lady who teaches art, and today we are going to make our clay turkeys out of a pinch pot and some pieces. So the first thing you're going to do is get your ball of clay, and if it's not very round like the one I have right now, you're going to roll it until it's a little more round. As you're rolling it, you're going to notice your hands start to get dry. Dip your fingertips into the water, and you don't want your hands super dripping wet, but you want them shiny. If they get a little too wet, you can dry them off on your paint shirt just a little bit, or a towel if they're really, really wet. And then you're going to roll your ball. And then you're going to find like half of it. So you're going to pinch it in half. So you have two parts. Okay. Set one part down. That's going to be your details. The other part is going to be your body. You're going to roll that one really good into a sphere. And as your hands get dry, more water. Keep your clay moist. We don't want our clay dripping wet, but it needs to stay moist. Okay, then you're going to make your pinch pot. So if you have like a weird spot like mine has like a thing right there, I'm going to stick my thumb right in there, and I'm going to pinch around for the body. I want to keep it round. Sometimes people get it more like a plate than a little bowl. So think about keeping it more like a bowl than a plate, and just pinch around for your body. Okay. If you get too thin, you'll pop a hole right through it. If you leave it too thick, it risks blowing up in the kiln. So we want to have it like Oreo thickness all the way around. And then when you have the even walls like that, you can come back and finger iron. Finger ironing we do without any water. Just use your flat middle finger against your clay, and you can do the outside, you can do the inside, and then you can do the lip. Okay, now before we go any further, this is actually going to go upside down for my piece. So I'm going to take my little pot and I'm going to go upside down. And then I'm going to write my initials on the inside with this needle tool. So my initials are E, A, P. Be careful not to poke a hole through the opposite side. And then you guys are going to write which group you're in. So if you're 5G3, you'll write 5G3. Okay? Then turn that upside down. Now, the other part of your clay might have just gotten kind of dry. Mine did. So I'm going to make sure my hands are moist before I touch it again. This is going to split up and become the back tail, the wings, and the head. So I need 4 pieces out of here. So I'm going to split it in half. Just pinch it into 2 parts. And then split it in half again. Keeping my hands moist, but not dripping wet. Okay. Okay. The biggest piece, which looks like this, if you're better at splitting it, maybe yours are pretty even, but mine is definitely not super even. So the biggest piece is going to become my tail. So you're just going to kind of shape it into the tail type of feather that you want. It's almost like a triangle, but not quite. Okay. Before you do anything else, you are going to draw on the texture. So for me, I'm going to draw 3 lines, and I'm going to do little V's. The glaze will get caught in those little V's, and that will be awesome. And then I'm going to also flip it over and do it on the outside. Okay, before this can be attached, we need to slip and score. So I'm going to scratch up right where it's going to touch. I'm making the Velcro. So I'm going to do it on the tail, the inside of the tail, and the outside of my cup. And I'm just really scratching and making it like have some teeth to grab each other. And then I'm taking my slip. For us, we just use water, and I'm dotting it on both of these, both sides. And then I'm going to stick them together, lining them up, and pressing firmly so that my tail doesn't come off of my turkey. Okay, then I'm going to look at my pieces and see which two look even. I think these two look the most even. Keeping them wet, I'm going to make my wings. And the wings on the sides are longer, skinnier than the tail was. On the wings, you only have to do your texture on one side because it's going to stick to the body on the back. And before you attach one, I definitely think you should try to build them the same because these animals are symmetrical. So this one's a little too round. I'm going to flatten that up. A little too not pointy on this side. Okay. Then when you have them pretty close to the same shape, I'm going to have you draw the texture on these with your needle tool. Then we are going to slip and score these on. So the wings go on the side here. So I'm going to scratch all over every which way. Some people do their scoring really like little tiny X's, like really organized. I don't do it that way. I just do it kind of wild. And then tap, 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 water on both sides. Tap, tap, tap. And then attach. Really press. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here on the back. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Back of my wing. Not the side with my drawing on it. Over here, scratch, scratch, scratch. Water on both pieces that are going to connect. That's our slip. Make sure you put the smaller part of the wing forward and the bigger part back. And then really press that on so it doesn't fall off. Okay. And then your last step is to make your head. When I look at the head, it's got a curve in the neck, the beak is smaller, and then it has this little dangly part off there that's really thin, okay? And then we're gonna attach it at the base of the neck. So I'm gonna take my neck, and I'm kind of using a coil rolling method just to get my clay the right direction that I want it to be. And then I'm going to curve the head around. And I wanna make that beak. Just got my hands really wet. And of course, I'm not wearing a paint shirt right now, so I can't dry them on my paint shirt. I'm gonna get my beak really nice and narrow, and then I wanna pull out that gobbler. I don't know if that's the right term. I'm gonna pull down that little dangly red thing. Okay, it's looking better. And then I'm going to curve this neck down. And then I just need to attach this here. Now for some of you, you might think it's going to go right on the front. Mine could actually even be kind of tucked under and look okay that way. So I think I'm going to do it that way. Otherwise, I feel like it's going to be way too tall sticking out here. So just think about where you want it to attach, and wherever you want it to attach, that's where you're going to slip and score. So on this one, I just did it right to the front. But on this one, I'm going to kind of tuck it under more. And you're going to put water, scratch, scratch for the Velcro, and then water for the glue. And then attach those. Okay. Then the most important thing is that at the end, however you set it, that's how it's going to stay. So if you want your tail feather more like sticking up and away from your turkey, then you need to make sure that it dries up. And it looks like mine is like got its beak pointed way up right now. I'm going to bring that down. All right, guys, and then this is going to dry for 7 days, and then I'll put it in the kiln. We'll fire it once. It'll be bisqueware like this, and then we'll glaze it and fire it again, and then it'll be glazeware. All right, you guys, I can't wait to see what you create.